Hey, I'm Jennifer with the Home Gurus of Keller Williams Realty, and I'm with.
And I'm Ashton with the Home Gurus of Keller Williams Realty.
Hey, just a side note since we're getting started. Are you tired of the allergies and the pollen?
Yeah, my car's green.
I need to do some, like, Sunday, Easter, we had everybody over, and it was pretty, so we went outside, and people started sitting at the patio table. I'm like, whoa, wait, I gotta wipe it off, and it was green. So yeah, so it's ready to get some things cleaned up, and I'm ready to get rid of the little cough that I carry every once in a while. So anyway, we got an important day. Lots of things to talk about today. Lots of deep questions. So we'll see. We'll see if we answer these very well today. So you guys have put up some good ones. Ready? Ready?
Ready.
Here we go. Topics for the day.
We're going to talk about the market.
Latest interest rates.
And does it make sense to buy a home right now?
And we're going to update you on the inventory. So questions, key questions. Most people always ask, how's the market when they send you out? And I can't even go to the doctor anymore without them going, hey, you're a realtor. What's it like out there? So we're going to talk about those things. But let's talk about the market first and some in-depth questions that we may have. So question number one.
What are the potential advantages of home ownership in terms of generational wealth transfer?
Deep question. So basically, what does that mean? It means how does that affect your generational wealth, your heirs, if you have home ownership? Personally, us speaking, personally from my perspective, we have several homes with the intentions of that being our retirement passive income. So since we're self-employed, we don't have great 401ks, but you can build wealth, right?
Yeah.
And so so we have those, and that we build a portfolio that way. So if you need help and you want to know how to build generational wealth, call us. And the goal is that those will be passed down to our children and their children. So building wealth in that way, because homeownership is a large asset. So it's a wealth building tool. Any thoughts on that?
And also by the time it gets down to like the second kid, third kid, it's already paid off.
Yeah. So yes, and if you plan it right, because you're young, Ashton, if you start now, just think about by the time you hit 65, yours could be paid off. Somebody else renting them, that kind of thing. And then if you are a renter and you don't want to build somebody else's wealth, call us. That's right. All right. So what does it mean? How does owning a home provide a sense of pride of accomplishments? A sense of pride and accomplishments.
Well, one, you own your own home. So, just owning anything, that's a big purchase and a big dream that a lot of people have. So just owning it yourself is a big step in life.
Yes. And so a sense of pride, the way you maintain it, keep it, decorate it, you can express it to your taste. It's funny because I had somebody called me the other day and they said, hey, I just passed the house with a yellow door. Did y'all flip that one? Because I usually put a yellow door on them or something, kind of a little signature mark. Yeah, I said a little signature mark. I said, no, we didn't do that one, but we do something to that kind of. And if you'll notice, there are some people here in the Memphis area who have Airbnbs, and they do certain designs on the front, like maybe the entries of all of them are the same, but it's a little trademark. So you can design your home and express your creative style or your pride and decorate it however you want. So and like you said, it's an accomplishment.
Yeah.
And it's just so coming home and saying I own it, it's pretty cool. So true. What are the potential advantages of owning a home in terms of stability and consistency for children?
Well, Jennifer, you have kids, so you'd be amazing to answer that.
Yeah, yes, right. So there's a lot of research out there that talk about, number one, children who grow up with parents owning homes buy homes. Number two, there are a lot of studies out there that show that children who grow up in homes that are owned by parents or being bought by parents do better in school, have better health, have more stability, and so there's a lot of research out there. It's really phenomenal. I didn't know there were so many articles, and I started reading. I thought, we could probably spend a whole hour on that, but it's really a good thing if you're. And I have been a single mom with kids, and if you're a single mom and you need to know how to get into that market to help get stability for your children, please call us. We'd love to help you out with that. If you're a family just getting started and you're trying to decide, do I rent? Do I buy? What do I do? Yeah.
That's what you do.
Yeah, come talk to us and let us develop a plan for you, a strategy to show you how to build your generational wealth and stability for your family that you might be starting. If you don't have children, don't want children, call us. We'll talk about how to build your wealth anyway. So it's a great strategy. If you go throughout history and you look at people who have built wealth, they do it through real estate. So it's a very lucrative way to get into the wealth building. So, and then we have another question. What does this say?
How does home ownership affect your ability to control and customize your living environment?
Yes.
Yeah, well, it's your own home. So like you said, you can put anything you want on that home. It's yours. So you can design it however you would like.
And I think the great thing is, and maybe those of us who owned homes during COVID saw the COVID shutdown. I said during COVID, it's still going around. But during shutdown, we saw how to make that home our refuge. You know what I'm saying? And you learned to do a lot of stuff outside that you didn't do. You slowed down and enjoyed it. And you took control of that environment and tailored it to yourself. So you still can. I know right now our home is a multi-generational home. And my mother-in-law lives with us. So we've got sectioned off where she and a caretaker can live. And we can coexist as we're working. And then, we have, it's funny because when I built the house, I chose that lot. I had put 2 or 3 other clients in the subdivision. But as I was riding, every time I go check on their houses, I would ride and then see that back corner lot. And I would think, you know what? When my kids are old enough to drive, I need to be on that corner because nobody would be on the other side. And that way, if they wanted to park their cars, it wouldn't be a big deal, right? So I worked really hard to acquire that lot and been there. So we have that whole side, and it's funny because the neighbors would say, there's multi-families up there. It was just my kids.
This is your big family.
It's our big family. And so, but it controlled our living environment. So we could function, we could have a good time, kids could hang out. And then I think there was a 2-part. How does it control and customize your living? I wanted to side note that to say home ownership also allows you to budget. So your payment is a fixed payment. So you know how to budget every month. When you rent, you don't know how to budget.
Yeah, it can go up in price too.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So every year it could appreciate. And so it could change. There's no stability. Or we had the situation with a really good friend of ours back in the fall of last year. They'd been in this house they'd been renting for several years, and the landlord sent them a notice and said they wanted them out. And they were like almost going to be homeless. And then come to find out the reason he wanted them out is because he wanted to take their rent from what they were paying to market rent. So they compromised and went in somewhere in between. But for a little bit, she thought they were going to be homeless. And so there's no stability, no control in that environment. So that's one of the great benefits of having your own home. So yes. Now, what are the potential? Let's see, where are we? Okay, what are the potential advantages of home ownership in terms of retirement planning and financial security? So let's talk about retirement planning. So just so you know, Ashton's a little bit younger than I am.
Yeah,
just a little bit.
Just only a year or 2.
Yeah. No, I could be your mother. So retirement planning, homeownership, you can allow. There's several routes, but let's go with staying at home, paying off a home. Okay, so if you get your house paid off early, that controls your retirement expenses. So that's very good. It builds security because if it's paid off, they can't take it.
That's a big deal.
It is. You can really live in your house without utilities. It may not be comfortable, but they can.
At least you have a room.
It's to say exactly. You have a place to live if you don't have utilities. So there's some security in there. But the great thing is, since I'm beckoning or looking down that path, knowing that paying it off, living in your house, knowing that you've got a place to go, and it appreciates still when you're living in it. So it builds a lot of security in that aspect of it. So those are things that you need to think about now, Ashton, and how quick can you get there? How quick can you get your house?
I want to retire at 30.
At 30. All right, let's get busy. Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. So you want to read the next one?
Yeah. How does owning a home provide a sense of belonging and community involvement?
Now, it depends on your personality type.
Yeah.
If you're a high I and you like to social, it could be a lot of fun, right? So our little community, is our neighborhood, is really there's only one way in and one way out, and so we pretty much know everybody. And it's funny because towards the end of the street where I live, there are a lot of widowers.
Yeah.
Widows and widowers, okay? And they all gather in the spring and stuff. They have on the patio, and you can ride by, and they sit
That's
out.
so
They do. They
cute.
walk across, they check on each other.
And you just look from the window.
Yes, and I can look out and see them. And so they get involved, and then we check on them, that kind of stuff. So you learn to care about them. I do socialize some, yes. And so we do check on them and see how they're doing. And then we have a new one that moved in the neighborhood probably about 6 months ago. She's a little further up front, and she walks every day. So I'm 2 or 3 times a day.
Okay.
She gets it. I'm kind of envious, what I'm saying? Woo! And she gets it. So she's walking, and I would know that if I didn't see her walking, I would go knock on her door. Does it make sense? So we're kind of, yes. And then my neighbors across the street know them very well, know their patterns. I can tell you at 11 o'clock, it's lunchtime, because my neighbor comes home for lunch every day from his job, comes in, oh, it's 11 o'clock. So it's involved. And then if you're very social, I mean, it'd be a lot of fun if you did block parties and got to know each other. I know that a lot of neighborhoods are like that. And then belonging into the community. So we live in a small town in Hernando. It's not really a small town anymore. It used to be a long time ago when we moved there. But what's really cool is things like the farmer's market starts this weekend. And so it will go the whole summer till October, and people bring in everything from things. It has to be things they make. So you've got the farms coming in, bringing their eggs and their milk, yes, their jams, yes, and the pie guys there. If you've not been, to come try a pie and some lemonade, some strawberry lemonade. All that starts this weekend, so that'll be a lot of fun. So it's a sense of belonging, and whether we want to acknowledge it or not, we do want to belong to something.
Yeah.
And so home ownership puts you in that environment so that you can do those things.
Yeah, and it's also a lot easier because since being in college, I've obviously lived in an apartment. So since everybody's leaving after usually that 1 year lease is over, you've made those friends, and then 1 year is up and now you're gone.
Yeah.
But at home, you're going to live in a home for more than a few years.
Yeah.
So you're making those people as lifetime friends.
Yes. And it's funny because you're saying that makes me think about when that neighborhood started years ago. I put a couple up front. They're still there. And I was thinking today, it's probably been 20 years. They've been in that one house, and they walk. I see them, and their kids are still friends with my kids. As a matter of fact, one of them was home from Texas, and our kids were leaving Easter Sunday, and I saw them see each other, and they stopped in the street to talk to each other, so they still see each other. And then I've got 2 more clients I put in my neighborhood. Another client I put in my neighborhood. 2 doors down, I put a client in the neighborhood.
So basically, if you like Jennifer, you can live right next to her.
And if I'm going to sell you a house, and there's a house available in the neighborhood, I'm probably going to sell you in my neighborhood. So, but they've been there for a long time. So I was trying to think they've been there at least 6 years or plus that we put them in there. So, people come in and they like, you know what I'm saying? You like it, and you tend to stay and enjoy those things because you built the friendships and the camaraderie. So. Pretty cool. So we talked about that one, but what are the potential advantages of homeownership in terms of building credit and financial stability?
Well, in terms of building credit, I do know that it's a debt ratio. So if you're paying your bill, you're paying your mortgage on time, and you're making payments, it's going to up your credit score.
Correct.
I don't know if you have more about that.
Yes. Well, and I was going to say, build your credit. So depending on what you're wanting to do in life, like if you're just wanting to buy a house and pay it off, it still builds credit. But if you're building if you're buying a house and you're wanting to do stuff like flip houses or buy more houses or do to your next house, move up, that house, as you're paying on it monthly, will also take down your principal, building your equity this way. And then when houses appreciate, it builds this way. So you're building your credit by paying on time, and you're building your wealth and equity in your house as you stay there. And so you could do a lot of things with that. You could pull out home loans or HELOCs, and you could start new businesses. It doesn't have to be real estate. You can start new businesses with the equity in your home if you're an entrepreneur, or if you want to do a food truck and you've got wealth in your house. You know what I'm saying? You can take that, and you can do a food truck.
Actually, so my friend explained it to me as a home can be like a savings account. You're not really throwing the money out. Like if you're renting, you're giving it to the landlord. But when you have a home, you're putting that money into the home and it's still there.
Yes.
And it's always going to go up in value.
Now, what about those naysayers oh yeah, but what about the housing crash? Oh, what about the housing crash? True, I was in my house during the housing crash, still in my house after the housing crash. I'm a realtor. I sell houses. I don't like to move. No, I used to move all the time, so I started selling houses. True story. And then I thought that's a lot of work. And so the houses went down, and then they rebounded above. So it's stability. It's long term. Does that make sense? So you would still want to own your home for stability and financial gain. Sorry, I got sidetracked there. How does homeownership impact your ability to accumulate wealth through property appreciation? Well, I said that, didn't we? Yeah. So, and I think we'll talk about this later on. I think there's some slides we'll talk about what predictions are of the market. But there is a natural trend line, and the economists want your property values to appreciate at a healthy rate of 4%. And so if you're buying a house and you're paying on it and it's appreciated at 4%, or like in the crazy market we just left, it appreciated, I think it was like 13% in 4 years. I mean, that's phenomenal. Yeah, even the ups and downs and lows. So so it is, when you're paying your payment, you're building that long term with equity, and your house appreciates.
So in simple terms, through the years, the home price is going to increase.
Yes, idealistically, correct. So you want to read the next one?
What are the potential advantages of owning a home in terms of creating a legacy for future generations?
There are a lot of clients that we work with who have their parents' property. Just closed on one in January, and she was selling her mother's house, who passed. It was sad. I mean, everybody hates to say bye. But her mom had left 2 houses, one for her, and so it was paid for, and then the other one, and the money, she wanted that house sold, and the money put in accounts for her grandchildren. And so it was nice to know that. I mean, think about it. They're young.
Oh yeah, let me tell y'all, firsthand experience. I wish I had a house being passed down too. So go ahead and do it for your kids. I promise they will be grateful.
Yeah. And it just takes some of that pressure off of everyday life, knowing that's paid and it's passed down. So we do see that a lot, and people do that for the whole purpose of, they may not be able to give millions to their children or set up these big trust funds, but they can invest and live comfortably, and then take that asset and then pass it down. So it does help that way. What are the potential risks and challenges of homeownership, such as property value fluctuations and unexpected repairs?
You're telling me about your house.
Yeah, I was just saying, oh, great. So here's the great thing about homeownership. You do have expenses and you do have repairs at times. And so it is time for us to paint the house on the exterior and fix some rotten wood. We just replaced our fence. This is a true story. We replaced our fence. And if my friends are listening, the one who built the fence, they will know. 2 years ago, we priced getting the fence replaced. It needed to be replaced then. I said, "Are you kidding me? For wood around the backyard?" I told my husband, I said, "Jeff, I don't know. If you want to do it, great. I'm just not ready to go there." Yeah. It's still standing. The fence is still standing.
It's standing.
It was the most beautiful thing. I'm sure the neighbors would think, I wish those people would fix that fence, right? It was the most beautiful thing. And then last year, he came back in, shut the door, he goes, "We're going to have to fix the fence." And he said, maybe it's gone down. It did. It went down about $2,500. But when we looked at needing to have it replaced, it was during when you couldn't hardly get it. Yes, it's crazy. And it hurts because I would rather, there are a few things in life I don't like to spend money on, and a fence would not be one of them, and razor blades are the other. I just hate spending money on razor blades. I just think they're very expensive for that. But anyway, they're necessities in life. And so you have to have repairs, but in the scope of things, it's a minute price for the appreciation that you get. So, so anyway, that happens, and then I think there was a two-part, wasn't it? It was repairs and
property value fluctuations.
Yes, property value fluctuations. The great thing is right now, unforeseen, major, catastrophic, maybe the magnetic pulse that happens on Monday, April the 8th, whatever they're saying. Just kidding. But any catastrophic COVID shut down, we didn't see it coming.
Yeah.
But even when that shut down, we thought things were going to be bad in houses. I've been licensed for over 21 years, and one time we've seen the housing market go backwards, and then it rebounded. So as far as fluctuations, you don't see a whole lot of fluctuations on average. Now, there are neighborhoods that you could see, depending on if different businesses came in or different annexations, if they change the surroundings to allow different businesses, you could see some fluctuations. But knowing your environment and staying tight-knit in the community, you could help keep those fluctations at a minimum. Anyway, don't look at me like I'm crazy. I'm just being funny because that's all the talk on the internet. So, how does owning a home impact your ability to make long-term plans and investment?
Long-term plans and investments.
So I had a call 2 days ago, and I'm going to go talk to these people. Their kids are leaving home. They're getting ready to send the last one off in a year or so to college. And now they're thinking, what are my next steps? Do we downsize? Do we buy something, pay it off?
What do we do?
Yeah, what do we do? And because they've been in their house, it's 9 years, they've probably got a substantial amount of equity in their house. And so they could take that money, probably pay something off. And they're so young. And I say young because they're probably in their 50s. And so maybe late 40s.
Yeah.
And so they're young, have their house paid for. They could turn around then and take that equity line out if they wanted to on the house that they just paid for and do something else with it. They could either buy another house for rental. They could buy a business. They could pay for college. I mean, whatever they wanted to do.
So there are many options.
There are.
In the house.
And so strategizing with the equity that you've built, and just think about it. They've been in that house for just a few years, but they have enough equity in it that they could pay one off. That's pretty cool. Think about it. Better than a savings account, Ashton. Who's your friend says a savings account is better? You tell them. So, all right. Now let's talk about the market. I've done all the talking, and now it's your turn. So let's talk about it. Is it a good time to buy?
Yes, it's a good time to buy. Future mortgage rates, and what are mortgage rates right now?
They're running the 6s. FHA is low 6. So you can actually, with a little help, buy down your rate permanently into the 5s. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people still think they're up there, but they're not. They're inching down. As a matter of fact, the market's showing that. So if you're looking to buy, now's the time to do it before there are a lot more buyers that come out and you go into multiple offers. Because what we're seeing is, well, we'll talk numbers in a minute, but what we're seeing is a really good time to buy, and it's an incredible time to sell. So yesterday, I think I shared it this morning on the call with our team. 2 days ago, put a house on the market because today is Thursday, so put it on Tuesday. And it's a beautiful house on the water, nice. And it went into multiple offers. And so we've, and some really strong multiple offers. We've seen multiple offers coming in on properties, and yet we've not seen some strong offers. So know this, if you're thinking, should I, everybody wants to, I want to sell in the up market and buy in a down market. But if you sell in the up market, you're going to buy in a up market. If you sell in a down market, you're probably going to buy in a down market. And so right now, though, there might be a little wiggle room. Like you might be in the middle place. If you've got a really good property, we get it ready, you could sell up. And then there are options that are still in the market that maybe you could buy and get some benefits back, or some concessions, or even price adjustments. So it might be a really, really good time just to even call us. Call us. Yeah.
Because even if you're selling, speaking of, if you're between the 200 and 300 range, that's hot. So many people are looking in that range just because that's the same price as rent nowadays. So that's why that's popular. So if you want to sell in that range.
And then those houses that are above that are sitting a little longer. So you might be able to get concessions and things with that.
Yeah.
So It's the best of both worlds, and the sun's shining today, so I think it'd be a great day to buy and sell. So let's talk about mortgage rates. We did talk about, we had a lender here yesterday, had some phenomenal programs, discounted loans, discounted, I say, no origination fees, less fees for VAs. So our veterans out there, they don't charge fees for. We'd have to give you the exact numbers to be sure. They had grant money is out. Mississippi and Tennessee, grant money is out, which means if you live there, you don't have to pay it back, which is phenomenal. So if you've got closing costs and you don't have down payment or vice versa, you've got both. There are some options out there for that. They had some other 100% financing terms. Incredible products that were out.
They even expanded the credit zone as well of who can qualify.
Yes. So they have their FHA. So you know how you go to the website and you see FHA will allow you to go to this certain credit score. They actually do those. Now you have to have 10% down.
Yeah.
But that's truly phenomenal that you could, if your score is lacking a little bit.
Yeah.
So.
There's many options that people do not know about. Like, it's hard to even know about that stuff unless you have a realtor, honestly.
Yes.
So like there are options to get you into a home.
And with the rates dropping a little bit, we don't see, they're now saying they're a little nervous, surprise. They're a little nervous that they dropped the rates too low, that we could go back into that major appreciation, which we've been talking about, which we're already seeing. We'll talk numbers in just a little bit. But all that to say, we're probably never going to see the threes again. Probably never. And I said that when we got down that low, I said there's a whole generation of people who are going to think that's really what rates are.
Yeah, but it's not.
No. So if we get in the 5s, 4.5s, those are still incredible rates and opportunities to build wealth. So you ought to give us a call. And they are in the 6s, but with a little buy down. And since some sellers are offering concessions, we could probably get there. And I'm going to share this later. Is there something? There are builders who are offering buy down rates, permanent buy downs. 499s, 5.25. Call us and we'll hook you up with those builders. Some builders are paying incredible amounts of concessions, $10,000, $15,000 in concessions. We haven't seen that in a while, so now's a good time to check those out. So, but let's talk about this. So we talked about mortgage rates projections. It's hard to forecast them. It really is. And everything changes 1 minute to the next, and they're all based on. I know you guys think that when you hear the feds are dropping rates, that affects mortgage rates. That does not affect mortgage rates. I mean, it does, but indirectly.
Yeah.
And so there's so many factors that go into mortgage rates. It's really hard to predict those. And so what's best to know is you could buy now and refi later and get in the house. Yeah. So, that's what it said. You could refi later. Like I read that slide completely. So, all right. So what does that mean? Let's look at this. Does it make sense to buy now? So what are house prices that they're predicting in the next 4 to 5 years? So some experts say that we're only going to see.
It's going to go up, and it's going to be by 2028. They're thinking it's going to go up by 4%.
So we're staying right there at that trend line, which is really, really good, right? And so what that means is this: if you bought a house right now for $400,000. And you locked it in at whatever rate, we got some concessions bought in, you're paying the same price for the next 5 years. You will also gain an additional $83,000.
And that's not money you put in. Like, that's just extra money.
Yes, exactly. So, I mean,
it speaks for itself.
It's better than savings accounts, yes. So that's some of the wealth that we're talking about. And we keep saying, the questions like generational wealth and those things. That's what we're talking about. Buying properties now and what they'll be in 10, 20, 30. Yeah.
It's a long haul. It's a long-term investment kind of.
And so I have a son that's a CPA, and he says he makes more money in buying houses than he does anywhere else. He's got the return. If you want his number, I'll let you know. So he likes it just for that very purpose. So housing market inventory, still inventory is low. What we've seen is 2,700 active listings in the Memphis area, about 750 active listings in the 5 counties in Mississippi that we serve. And we're seeing that number stay the same because if it comes on the market, typically people who are ready to buy see it and they're buying.
Real quick. But also because there's usually 3 buyers per one home.
Mhm.
So that's 3 people wanting to offer on that one home.
Yes. And the thing is, those buyers that are out there waiting for the right opportunities and not looking every day, they're going to miss opportunity,
Mhm.
right? It's knocking. Y'all hear it? Opportunities knocking. We have to take advantage of it. And the other thing is, some of the houses that you're actually looking at, unless a house comes on the market, is they'll say the pictures don't look good. Let's go look at it anyway,
Mhm.
because that may be the very thing that keeps us from not going into multiple offers. Does that make sense?
The quicker you get out there,
Mm-hmm.
that's why you need to call us, because we're on top of our game and we're going to get you out there quick.
Yes, very much so.
Mhm.
Text, call, whatever we need to do. So there has been a slight tick in inventory, but we're watching this come down, and we're watching days on market. So in the Memphis area, average days on market is like 83 days. In Mississippi, it was over 100, and we're watching that come down. It's already come down. It's below that. And in a stable market, it's 6 months. So if a house is on the market for 6 months and sells at that 6-month point, it's considered balanced.
Mhm.
It's neither a buyer nor a seller. It's a balanced market. So anything under 6 is a seller's market, and anything above is a buyer's market. And you can see we're still well into a seller's market, and we're seeing incentives. So it's kind of a crazy thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that you can get incentives. Talk to us about new construction.
New construction they're offering tons of incentives, such as buying down your interest rate. And then also I know some of them were offering 4.9%
Mhm.
interest rates.
A little over 5, so it varies depending on what they've got on the ground.
Yeah.
And so and that's not temporary; those are permanent buy downs. And so a lot of builders are offering a lot of incentives for a brand new house. You don't have to worry about those unexpected repairs. No new fence. Oh yeah, you would have put a fence. So right, that's true. So open houses in today's market. Should we do open houses?
Yes.
If you are a seller, should you hold your house open?
Yes, you should hold your house open.
Talking to the 2 open house people. Huh? And what are the benefits of that?
Well, you have people coming to actually looking at the house, getting a feel of it inside the home. And when you're in a home, it's easier to imagine yourself in the home and buying the home. So you want them in the house. Just like when you go test drive a car, the chances of you buying it has significantly increased.
Yeah, that's what I always say. Ashley, just drive that car home, bring it back tomorrow, and if you don't want it, that's great. Because they know if they get you to drive it, you're not gonna bring it back, right?
Yeah.
So I totally get that. It's all it's a numbers game. So the more people you have in your house, the more likely you are to sell it.
Mhm.
So holding it open is a benefit. Oh, and also if you've got a great property and buyers are going, I'm going to go house shopping today, but I just kind of want to look around. It creates a competitive kind of auction
atmosphere.
Yeah, for that. So and it helps get in offers. So we have a couple of events coming up. So let's talk about them. Hey, if you need to shred documents in a secure, private way, but you don't want to pay for it, we've got the event for you. So we are holding in 4 locations shredded days. And what that means is our Ridge Lake office on April the 27th from 9 to 12. Well, you can bring any documents and we'll shred them. Now we're asking if you're a small office and you have a truckload, please let us know in advance. But we want you to bring your documents. We have a place on our Germantown office. And then Saturday, May the 4th, will be in South Haven at our South Haven office and in Arlington. So we have 4 locations, 2 days that you can bring. And you can bring some every time. So let's say you forgot to bring something on the 27th and you need to bring it on the 4th. We'll do it, and it's no charge. Free, us to you. So, so that is an offer that we have for you. Also, we are doing we're fundraising. You sell houses though,
but we still like to give back to the community.
We do. We like to give back to the community. So we're working with DeSoto Hope. They are a cancer support group. This Saturday coming up is their Light Up the Lake event. So if you wanted to buy a lamp and donate, you can. But we're also taking items to auction and raffle for those very moments to help raise that. They do baskets of support, and they help do grants if you do treatment somewhere else. So they're kind of dear to heart.
Yeah, for women or people specifically in DeSoto County and the surrounding areas. So you're helping people in our own community.
Yes, correct. And so this group is kind of I've gone to school. I was looking at, and so I know one of the founders grew up with her from little to, and her mom was a realtor when I was yeah. And then I had noticed there were a couple others. There's another realtor and another girl I went to school with. So it's kind of a dear group to me. It's that belonging in the community. Yes, because I grew up here. So please call us, help us out with that, okay? Now we're talking about open houses. I know yours not on here because we just got yours set up, but you can tell them. So I will be at these at Ice Plant Townhomes, brand new townhomes. They're great. The builder actually bought the rate down, so the rate on these are 4.99%. That is a fixed FHA rate, 30 years. Lowest interest rate I know of right now, and a brand new place. So you want to start building generational wealth? Come see me Saturday from 12 to 2. I'll be out there. And they're gorgeous. All the upgrades. They have I can't think of quartz. I was like, it's not granite, it's quartz, countertops, white colors, dark floors. They're beautiful. So, and tell us, where will you be?
I will be at 724, I think it's 724 Tina Drive in Atoka. And it's a 4-bed, 2-bath. It's a beautiful home. I'll be there from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock.
Okay.
And we'll also post a picture of it.
It'll be out on our social media. And so we'd love for you to come out and see what we got. Got it? Just want to say congratulations to Mike Smith. We picked him this week. He's closed. So we're excited about that. And we just want you to know, if you want your picture up here, just come by a house with us. We'll put it up here.
We'll leave a spotlight.
There it is. So very good. We just want to let you guys know we're glad to be here.
Glad to be here.
Bye.